Classic Wayne's World. Oh, nice. And you're rocking the Wayne's World hat. Look at that. So let's quickly rattle through. So we're back-to-back podcast recordings this week.
Yep.
Because it's my fault. Well, it's also your fault because you've been too drunk to record last week, and I'm moving to Australia this week.
That is true. We have been extremely selfish with our personal lives, but
whilst we're on a good hype, we might as well rattle through the old Sunday at Reading Festival.
Yeah.
Where do we start? Well, for us, our life hack for Reading Festival is that my girlfriend's parents live about 4 or 5 miles up the road from where we camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I always manage to blag a shower and a bacon sandwich.
For the whole crew as well, which is handy.
For the whole crew, of course, yeah.
Also,
Shane's caring.
Big old shout out to Tracy Nevo for doing that for the last 6 years.
Inside! Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely one that adds to our experience and usually makes our Sunday bearable.
Oh, yeah.
However, this Sunday, it was not bearable, and it's not their fault.
No.
But that rain was f***ing awful.
Yeah. Yes, it was. And I learned that Nike Roshis aren't waterproof.
No, definitely not.
I learned that white trousers are a fucking stupid thing to wear.
Yep.
To a festival. Looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't need them.
Yep. I learned that we should have bought hazmat suits and gone as Breaking Bad, but no.
Yeah, no. I think definitely I'm going to be less ignorant next year and take some wellies.
Or at least have them on hand.
Yeah.
Like, we can check the weather. If it says it's going to rain, get some fucking wellies.
I might buy myself a pair, get them delivered to Tracy Nevo's, they can look after them for the year for me. I just wear them a weekend of a year. Easy.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, it rained pretty fucking hard on the Sunday. This year, on the Sunday, we had... It was Family Day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So we had...
Usually every year we have a Family Day where we bring one of our sets of parents in.
Well, we never usually invite them.
No, they just decide
They just show up. I mean, they don't fucking ask or anything. They just do. So.
They're going to start listening to this podcast, so you've got to not swear them off.
It's all right. I'll cut that bit out.
But we had Family Day. So we had Tracy Nevo, who's my girlfriend's parents. We had Lauren, who's my girlfriend. We had Dad and Mel, who are our parents.
And Uncle Smokey.
And Uncle Smokey. So we had a lovely day.
Yeah.
But it was Tracy's first time going to Reading, so we went in early.
Yeah.
With no one that we wanted to see until 4 o'clock. And standing in the pissing rain and cold. So we've learnt 2 lessons there. One is that if it's going to rain, make sure you wear waterproofs.
Mm-hmm.
And stay warm. Number 2 is, if there's no one to go see on the Sunday, don't force yourself in. Yeah, I think that was one of the most challenging days of Reading I've ever done. I mean, 11 years for me, and I've never had a big rain day.
However, it did turn out to be, music-wise, eventually, a very solid day.
It took a while.
It took a while,
but we got there.
It happened. I'm happy it did what it did instead of... I mean, how many highlights we've got? We got 4 or 5 we're going to go through today. I'm glad that they happened in the space they did, rather than being 2-hour gap between all of them.
Yeah. There's certainly a big gap at the beginning, which we just should have stayed at home.
Oh, plus it stopped raining halfway through the day, so it was all right. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah. So we started off by seeing a few bands, but the biggest fun we went to go see first was Let's Eat Grandma, who like a 2-piece electronic-y poppy band who were fun. They weren't anything special for me, but they were all right.
The tent was warm and dry.
So we were happy seeing them. And then we nipped over to see the Secret set of Peace on the BBC introducing stage. Yeah. Peace weren't even on the lineup, so what a weird slot for it.
It was a bit... Did they play at Leeds as well?
I don't know. If you're at Leeds and listening to this, then were they at Leeds? I don't know. Not that we could hear a lot, and not that we could really enjoy it, because it was pissing it down with rain.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was one to mention. Probably more of a low light than a highlight.
Well, I remember you turned to me and you said, I need to go and see some music.
Yeah.
So we did. And
it
was fine.
And they were all right.
They did a really fun cover, a really fun Avril Lavigne cover.
Did they do Complicated?
Yeah.
How weird is that? I was listening to that this week.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Fun fact, that came out 17 years ago.
Fuck it. I was... Oh, wait, how old am I? I'm 21. I was going to say I was 1 when that came out, but I'm not 18
You were
anymore.
4.
I was 4 when that came out.
You were 4.
God damn.
That is so long ago. But funny that they were there and that they then played Avril Lavigne.
Yeah,
hey ho.
great. It was good to see him. It was good to see him. It was like seeing an uncle that you haven't seen in a couple of weeks. You're not really bothered, but it's nice to see that he's all right.
Yeah, I suppose so. Next band?
The next band. One of my highlights of the whole weekend.
Well, the highlights of life.
Of life, yeah.
I mean, we knew it. We knew it going in.
Yes.
Why don't you give some background story here, Will?
So one of our biggest... I don't know if anyone saw the video we did when we went to Ridgefield Avenue?
Richfield Avenue.
Richfield Avenue. We were talking about potential secret sets and what's missing off of the lineup. And the biggest one, I think, was Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
He was there... He's been there the last couple of years.
It's been the last 2 years. Well, 3 years now.
Always been a great time to see
him.
him.
Give the secret away.
We went to go see him in Portsmouth, didn't we, that night?
Yeah. I mean, he released his album, was it last January?
Yeah.
So it's not like he had massive new material, but he did release one of the songs. Was it Snake Eyes that he released after Reading last year?
Yes, he did, yeah. So he was on Instagram the day he was doing that weird new Ask Me a Question feature. And this was before the Reading lineup, and one of the questions someone asked him was Reading and Leeds secret set, and it was just a picture of him sort of thinking about it. And then when someone asked again, he said, "Well, would it really be Reading without the Rattlesnakes?" So from then on, we were sort of like, "Yeah, well,
of course he can."
If he's not, then that's a bit of a dick move. So
if he's not, then they that's him saying they need to book him.
Yeah, exactly. So you got we sort of found it on Instagram that morning.
Yeah, well, I think on the Friday he posted a shot of him being a secret, that he had 3 gigs towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
One of them was one that he'd already announced, and then just times for the other ones. There's no other rock festivals going on at that time, and it just so happened there was a big slot in one of the gaps that he said he was going to be there. So, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes on the pit stage. We were soaking wet.
Yeah.
And we needed to get dry. So there is only one thing to do when you are wet and you're in a tent and you need to get warm. Run around the motherfucker.
I was going to say.
There's only one thing you can do when you're in a tent like that, and that's to run around like a crazy person. Exactly. So we did a lot of running around, a lot of jumping around.
He played some great songs.
Yeah.
He also announced that it was his last live gig of the year.
Yeah.
Because which would be annoying, but we can kind of forgive him because they're going back in the studio for the 3rd album.
Yeah, mate. 3rd album. I'm ready for him to be massive so that he can headline that festival one day.
I think he is. I think after the last couple of years he's had, it's just really the whole band is really blown up for him. Like, I mean, they've been supporting Foo Fighters at Wembley Arena.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other examples, but that's a bigger one.
Well, sold out tours and supporting Foos is pretty huge. I'd like to see them just become absolutely massive and just, I'd like to see them get to headline territory one day. I don't think they'll do it on one more huge album. I think they're a few years away. But
I think it's definitely something to look forward to, though.
I think the other thing is with Frank Carter is that he is such a cult, he's got such a cult fan base.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make any bad songs. They're all stunning.
Yeah, there's no if you go onto his repertoire and hit shuffle all, there's not one you skip because it's boring.
Yeah, even the quiet, slow ones are so thought provoking and chilling sometimes.
Yeah,
but what that's not why you go see Frank Carter. You don't go see him for his music. You see him because Frank Carter is probably the most charismatic man in the entire world.
Yeah,
his stage presence is an absolute masterclass in how to be on a stage. Mm-hmm. We're talking headstands in the audience. We're talking he'll go and run round the outside of the tent.
Yeah. He'll
go and join the mosh pit and scream and... you can't get bored of seeing Frank Carter.
God, no. It's incredible. Every time. It gets better every single time.
Every single time. So we knew it was going to be there, but then when it was confirmed, we just got really excited. And then we got dry because we hurt ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I remember walking out of that tent and there was steam coming off of us.
Yeah.
So water was evaporating.
That's only ever happened once in my... Oh, no. It's happened a few times. But the only other time I can really remember it happening was when I saw Pendulum the first time, before they'd even released their second album, when they were still a little band. I was talking at Southampton Guildhall and steam. Steam coming off your body in October when you've gone to a rave is one thing, but steam outside of a tent in August, that's impressive.
Yeah, and also a comment on how the weather was that day.
Yeah, definitely. It was really shit. So, thoroughly enjoyed that. Definitely one of the highlights of the weekend, and much needed at that point. I think probably why we liked it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To completely change the whole mood of the day, didn't it?
Yeah. Anything more about Frank Carter?
If you want to be a guest on the podcast, hit us up on Instagram.
Oh yeah, we'd like to talk to you about that, Mr. Carter. Yeah, actually, that would be really cool one day if we could get someone like that on and just chat to him about their... Because he was played Reading, 10, 11 times?
Yeah, he's one of the...
Winded Gallows. So we went from there to go back to the Radio 1 stage, which was still beneficial because it was still raining. And a big tent, which is covered, is always beneficial and lovely when it's pissing it down. To go and see the DMAs, and I didn't think the DMAs would be a band that anyone would really go and see. And I don't know if it's just because it was raining and people wanted shelter, but the energy in there was still pretty huge.
Well, there's a lot of people there that wanted to see him.
Yeah, like it was a proper following, wasn't it? Yeah, definitely. DMA's Australian band, who you would absolutely assume were British. They sound like somewhere between Kasabian, Oasis, Blur and Pulp.
And they look like it as well, don't they?
And they look like it as well. So that, yeah, I mean, we're talking Burberry caps and they just scream Britpop.
Yeah.
But they're Australian, so weird. But amazing atmosphere. Saw loads of cool smoke flares.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Always great. Loads of them that day, actually. It was almost like, I don't know if it's like a football thing but there was loads of them. Best song by them is Delete, and I thought they did it really well. Obviously, the people we were with really wanted to see them as well, so that was a bit of a highlight for them and therefore a highlight for us. But great to go see them, and I think they're only going to go up from there as well if they continue releasing music as good as that. So yeah, great to see DMAs. God, Sunday was so quiet, man.
It was, but the next
we're halfway through the day at the moment.
We are. However, I find the next band makes that up for me. The Vaccines, on the main stage.
Or as Christopher Walken would say, vaccines.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, vaccines.
Foo Fighters. By this point, my parents, our parents showed up.
Oh yeah, then we bumped into our parents.
Yeah, and we saw the Vaccines on the main stage 2 years ago, I think it was, and I don't know if it's because we were too far back or because it was a Sunday or I was being grumpy, but it just didn't have that oomph. But this year we were right in front of the second barrier.
Yep.
And oh my god, what a performance!
Yeah.
I love
I think there was definitely one that you thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Vaccines for me are one of those bands that are really, really great. They're not quite in that main stage headline spot for me. I mean, they certainly had the pull for it and the audience. I just think they'd be much better in a tent, but that's just my opinion.
It would, but I think.
But you bloody loved it, so you can absolutely talk to the high heavens of this.
Yeah, they played some classics, some great stuff off the second and third albums. Teenage Icon was a personal highlight for me.
Yeah, Blow It Up's always my favourite.
And they did Wetsuit as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they did Wetsuit at a faster tempo.
Oh, did they?
Than it was recorded, because it's quite a slow song on the first album, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they sped that up again, and it became a proper bit
of a party
festival
number.
anthem.
I can't remember that. That's how bad I was on Sunday.
No, they were awesome. I remember he gets the crazy eyes, doesn't he?
Oh, they were proper crazy eyes.
I remember someone saying, "Oh, he was on a lot of drugs." I was like, I don't think he was.
I don't think he was. I think he was just happy to be there.
Because he's another one of these great frontmans. Frontmen?
He's such a good frontman. Frontman's them.
Look up frontman.
Definitely, I think for that day, really good.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. If they were following the Wombats on Friday, then the 14-year-old boy inside of me would have blown up.
You know, if it was me, I would have put Cortinas on earlier on in the day, then gone Wombats, then Vaccines, then Kings of Leon. That would have been amazing.
That would have been perfect. That would have been my Year 7 playlist.
In fact, you could chuck DMAs on before Cortinas and made that a really good like Britpop indie day. Yeah, I mean the Vaccines. I've seen them so many times. They're you get what you expect with them. They're very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And I think their new album's very, very good as well. Mm-hmm. I think the thing is with Vaccines, I wish that they were bigger than they are. That I feel like they should be bigger than they are, and I don't understand why they're not, which holds it back.
Especially after 4 albums, yeah.
Yeah, but
it's not like they're tiny, but
no, but I just would expect them to be up there with like Foals or Bombay or Biffy or like those kind of level. Like I expect them to be a headline band.
I think they could,
but I just don't think they are.
They could.
I just don't think they.
I reckon they could headline a tent very well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think they could absolutely. If they have a couple of years away, come back, headline the Radio 1 stage, hands down, and that would be great. Especially if some shitty band like Green Day are playing on the main stage. That's what I always love. When you get those bands you don't want to see on the main stage, but then they fill up the good stage. Oh, yeah, brilliant. So from the Vaccines, they then had the Cortinas, who I was reading an interview with Melvin Ben. I still don't understand how the Cortinas are sub-headlining on that day.
How do you mean,
what? Bar Not 19 Forever. They haven't got any other songs.
That's right. That's shit in my mind.
Like Cortinas are smaller than the Vaccines. Yeah, such a boring fucking set.
You remember there's that line in Not 19 in that what's the thing called 19 whatever.
Not 19 Forever.
Yeah. That is God bless the band, they're doing all they can. And I remember saying that to you when they were playing when we were at the bar.
Yeah.
Just because it just wasn't. It was a good set, but like maybe we're just not big enough Cortina heads, but we got.
I think the people that were there loved it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I just don't understand why they were sub-headlining.
Yeah, I think we should have nipped over to Slaves for a bit. I know we've seen them a lot before and we had a good spot, but yeah.
Once you're there, you're there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've seen the Slaves.
I don't know. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Cortinas for me was such a weird booking. I thought that was a bad thing, but...
we said on the day, at least if they'd swapped with Vaccines, it would have been good.
Yeah, I completely agree. If they were in earlier, I probably would have been like, yeah, it was alright.
Yeah.
But I just thought they were so beige.
Well, I guess later in the evening, I mean, we usually go home on the Sunday, so we were thinking about it's nearly home time. We just got the one band to go. Smokey had crashed already at this point.
Yeah, we need to work on that.
Yeah, but no more needs to be said about them. I don't think it was 8.
It was what it was.
Yeah.
However, one of the best closing sets in years of a festival, I think. I thought Kings of Leon were a fantastic end to the weekend. Just so good. They played a proper old school set as well. They played loads off their first 3 albums.
Yeah.
The last time they played was 2009, which was their infamous set of being booted off stage or leaving the stage and being at the height of their drug and drink abuse. Mm-hmm. So it felt like they really redeemed themselves. I miss the mid-noughties. That's what they made me feel like.
Yeah.
You didn't know as much, right?
I didn't know. Well, it was one of those sets that made me realise how, not little songs I knew, but how many songs I didn't know. Loved their first album, Morley's Chambers, Red Morning Light.
Yeah.
Great tracks. But I think I've got
that second and third album, man.
Yeah, I think I've got a gap in what I've listened to that goes from that first album to like Sex on Fire or whatever, or You Somebody.
Yeah.
But enjoyed it, learnt a lot. Had a good bit of a shout at the ones I knew.
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking great.
They were great, man. I mean, they came on, they played something off of every one of their albums. And you know what? You Somebody and Sex on Fire weren't their highlights. That's what I loved about it. Playing like Radioactive and Pyro. I love those songs of the later stuff. They played, didn't play Milk, but they did play Taper Jean Girl, which is one of my favourites. I got a head with a fire. So I thoroughly, I just thought it was such a good closer for the weekend.
It was.
And yeah, especially last year as we didn't want to see Muse, so we left early.
Yeah.
I was just really glad that we stayed for the whole thing, because I do regret it if I ever leave early.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, to be honest, I think we learnt our lesson the hard way last year, missing Brian Johnson come out with Muse.
For me, it was that at the same time we were missing Haim, who I actually think, they're one album away from headlining.
Yeah, it would have been good to see them there this year as well. I guess they haven't had a new album out since, but...
No, but headline the Enemy stage, so they're close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was Reading 2019. 2018.
Yeah.
So that was Reading 2018. A great year. A great year for me. I think Brockhampton were my highlight on the Saturday.
Of the whole weekend?
Yeah, I think so. That's
fair enough. That was a biggie.
It was a big one for me.
Yeah.
I loved the Used were one that was a bit of a surprise for me as well.
Yeah. Such a good time at the Used, actually, yeah.
But, so, there's Cortinas and probably Blocks were the only two that I was like, eh. But apart from that, I thought everyone we saw was just great.
Yeah. And we saw so much as well. And we saw so much new stuff too.
Yeah.
So many bands that hadn't, officially released a first album yet, but still had, a really big following.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Yeah. Exciting things coming around at the moment, I think. Yeah. I think it's really easy to get locked up in, music's shit because mumble rap exists, but... Actually,
well, you're listening in the wrong places, aren't you? It's sort of people saying that Reading wasn't a rock festival this year. I don't think it's a rock festival or a hip hop festival. I think it was a new music festival.
I think you are speaking some very wise words there. So I suppose at some point, Will, we should do a podcast about looking at the rumours and the future headliners and stuff.
We should.
Let's do that before the next announcement. Usually we do get an announcement in October, so perhaps we should do one that next.
Yeah, well, we'll let you move out the country and get settled, and then
not just out the country, but to the other side of the planet.
We'll let you move to the other side of the planet and get settled, and and then I think that should probably be our next move. We'll get these two edited and up. Thanks
for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next time for some secret rumour headliners.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, right. All right, see you next time.
We need a good sign-off line.